turned the whole plan upside down. He let us think we were in control, but we were just rats in a trap, and he was watching. I tried to run. I made it down a side alley near the compound wall. I pulled out a fake ID and walked toward a group of real soldiers. But before I could speak, someone grabbed me from behind. A cloth covered my eyes. Hands twisted my arms. I heard the words, "You are done." They didn't beat me. They didn't insult me. They just tied me and left me in a room with one chair. I waited. Hours passed. Then the door opened, and he walked in. Captain Ibrahim Traore. No guards, no gun, just him. He sat down across from me. He didn't shout. He didn't ask questions. He just looked at me for a long time. Then quietly he said, "You're not the first African brother they've paid to kill me. But maybe you can be the first to tell the truth." My chest tightened. He wasn't angry. He looked tired, but calm, like a man who's seen betrayal too many times. "Why didn't you shoot me?" I asked. He stood up. "Because if I kill every traitor, there won't be enough men left to build a better Africa." Then he left. No threats, no prison, just silence. I broke down crying. They took me to a small rural house under surveillance. Not a prison, not a dungeon. Every morning, a boy from the village brought me bread and tea. Every evening, a woman came to clean the place. Nobody asked me questions. Nobody tortured me. I waited, confused, guilty, angry at myself. Was this mercy, or punishment worse than death? I was supposed to be a ghost, but now I was a man, alone, with nothing. And yet, something in me began to change. Days passed. Then weeks. No guards, no chains. Just me, a small house, and silence. The boy who brought me food came every morning, maybe 10 or 11 years old. Thin legs, big eyes. He never said much, just placed the food gently and left. But one day, as he handed me a small piece of bread and tea, he looked me straight in the eye and asked, "Mister, are you a bad man?" I didn't know what to say. I wanted to scream. I wanted to hide. Instead, I just stared at him. He waited. Then he nodded slowly and walked away. That night, I cried again. Not because I was caught, not because I failed, but because for the first time in years, I felt shame. I started thinking about what I had done, about the people I had lied to, about how far I had gone just for money. I remembered the training, the suits, the foreign men who told me, "Traore is a threat. Africa needs to be tamed." But was he really the threat? He was building schools. He chased out foreign soldiers who did nothing for the people. He gave gold mines back to villagers. He didn't want power for himself. He wanted dignity for his people. I couldn't hold it in anymore. One night, I asked for paper. A guard outside the door gave it to me without a word. And I wrote. I wrote everything. How I was recruited in Côte d'Ivoire. How I was trained by American contractors and French intelligence. How we were promised 10 million euros to kill Ibrahim Traore. How we had insiders in the army. The names of the people who planned it. Even some former ministers hiding in Europe. The Swiss bank account, where the second payment would have gone. It was all there. My full confession. I signed it, folded it, and gave it to the soldier the next morning. I didn't ask what would happen next. 3 days later, a black SUV arrived at the house. I was told, "The president wants you to read something." Inside the envelope was a handwritten note. "Africa doesn't need perfect men. It needs honest men who are ready to change. Go, help rebuild what you tried to destroy." Ibrahim Traore. I held the paper in my hand. My legs were weak. I expected prison. I expected punishment. Instead, I was given purpose. They didn't release me to the city. They didn't let me fly away to safety. They sent me to a village in the north, a place where people had nothing. The same place where Traore had once fought off terrorists, with only 12 men and broken weapons. There, I was told, to help build a school wall, carry bricks, mix cement, talk to children. For the first time in my life, I worked with my hands. Not for money, not for power, but for something real. I was sent to kill a man, and ended up helping his people. They didn't know who I was, but they smiled at me, and for once, I felt free. In the village, life was hard. There were no banks, no restaurants, no Wi-Fi, just dust, goats, and people trying to survive. But in their eyes, I saw something I had never seen before: hope. These were the same people Ibrahim Traore had been fighting for. They told me stories around the fire at night, about how he came to their town on foot during a terrorist attack, how he gave them food when the trucks stopped coming, how he refused to leave until their children were safe. "He is not like the others," one old man said. "He doesn't command us from a golden chair. He sleeps where we sleep." And here I was, a man sent to kill him, now sitting in the same dust as his people. One afternoon, while helping stack bricks near the school, a small girl ran up to me, maybe 5 years old. She handed me a torn drawing. It was a picture of a man in army clothes standing next to a house. She pointed at the picture and said, "That's you, helping us." I froze. I wanted to fall to my knees and confess everything. Instead, I hugged her, and for the first time in years, I felt clean. Even with the smiles and kind words, the guilt never left me. I still had flashbacks of the training, the weapons, the plan, the voices of foreign men saying, "Africa will never wake up. Just make sure this boy doesn't live long enough to make trouble." I had been there too